Hi, I'm Chris Klingus. I'm the co-owner of Brandon Oriental Rugs here in Furlong, Pennsylvania, which is located in Buckingham Township, Bucks County. I welcome you to the first of what I hope will be several videos which will be instructive to you as a rug owner or potential rug buyer concerning the care of rugs, the use of rugs in particular room settings, and other things that might help you to appreciate better why traditional hand-knotted Oriental rugs represent such a tremendous value relative to other choices you might have in the market for solving your area rug needs in a particular room. This first video is going to deal with the subject of tufted rugs, as we call them in the business. These are frequently and almost exclusively now sold as handmade rugs by the home centers and the department stores that feature them. They are attractively priced, but for reasons that we'll explain here in this video, you will see that although the price is low to begin with, long-term the cost can be very high in terms of the need to replace them more frequently relative to a true hand-knotted rug, and also the dissatisfaction you're likely to experience as the owner of such a product as time goes forward. What we're going to show is that based on how these things are put together, and it really is a matter of construction compared to traditional hand-knotted rugs, these rugs are really not a value and in fact detrimental to the environment, although they claim to be a green product. I'll start with diagrams of how these things are put together, and hopefully this will help you to understand from the demonstration we'll give later on why if you invest in these you're basically throwing your money away.
Going to contrast now the differences in construction from beginning to end between the hand-knotted rug and tufted rugs. What you see here on the screen is a woman working at a vertical loom. She's tying a hand-knotted rug. You see the warp, as we call it, which is the fringe of the rug, goes end to end from the top to the bottom of the loom. She's working from a cartoon. She's creating the design on this cartoon in the rug itself, knot by knot. She ties rows of knots around every two pieces of fringe from one edge of the loom to the other. Between the rows of knots she'll be inserting wefting, and this all gets hammered down to create a rug with tremendous integrity. After several rows of knots she'll trim it so that she can kind of see where she is with you. See some of the clippings below here. Go on, there's some other examples of this. There's another woman you see more close up. This is a tribal piece. Now this is a tufting gun, and this is how tufted rugs are put together. A person stands in front of this cloth, which is the substrate of the rug, and with this machine shoots lines of wool into the fabric, which creates the design of a tufted rug. Now, to keep this all from falling out and not being visible, after this step is completed, they slap a lot of latex rubber on the back and then cover that with cloth so that you don't see it. And this is kind of what we're explaining elsewhere in the video about the problem with these things. Now this is a diagrammatic representation of a hand-knotted rug. Again, you have fringe goes end to end through the rug. Around every two pieces of fringe you tie a knot. It's actually an open loop, if you will, but it's a knot. And then between rows of knots they insert wefting, which goes up and down across the warp of the rug. This gets hammered down toward the bottom of the rug, and then they proceed to put another row of knots in. And this, once this is hammered down, it's impossible to remove this knot. It can't really be pulled out, as you can see. There's no way to, it's just tightly in position, which enables the rug to wear like a tank for literally generations in many cases. This is a diagram of a tufted rug. Again, you have a cloth into which that gun shoots loops of wool, but this is the shape. Again, going back, this is a hand knotted rug. You see the shape of the knot, and in a tufted rug you just have these loops. The only thing holding these loops in place is that latex rubber that gets slapped on the back after the tufting is completed. This is what a tufting gun looks like. Works like really high speed. If you see videos of these on the internet, it's amazing. It's another picture of a woman working at the loom. This is actually a Nain rug she's completing. This is another type of tufting gun. Another diagram of a hand knotted rug. See the integrity of this. It's really multiple steps, but these knots, which are the pile of the rug, do not come out. And that contrasts with these loops in tufted rugs, which are easy to pull out, as we'll demonstrate in a moment. This is an Oriental rug loom. Time from beginning to end to complete a hand knotted rug can be up to a year or in excess, depending on the density of the weave. Most pieces being produced now are usually around 3 to 6 months production time. But again, this contrasts with the time to produce a tufted rug. They can knock out several tufted rugs per day with that machine we'd shown earlier. The history of hand knotting of rugs goes back literally centuries. This is a picture of medieval women working at a loom, creating a rug in the same way that I diagrammed for the piece earlier. This is a village in northwest Iran. They're using a vertical loom to create rugs. As the rows of knots are completed so that they can get to the top of the rug, this seat, if you will, is raised so that they're actually elevated way off the ground before the rug is completed. This is a Bijar type carpet, it seems, yes. This is a weaver in southwestern United States, Navajo tribe probably. They're using the same techniques. Now this is a nomadic type loom, happens to be vertical, but this can be easily broken down and set up as the people go with their herds from area to area. And this is again a traditional method of production going back literally centuries. I have here two rugs. The one on the left is what we call a tufted rug. Some people go so far as to mislead the public and call them handmade tufted rugs or handmade rugs. The rug on the right is actually a traditional hand knotted Oriental rug. As you can see, they have similarities. They're actually made by the same importer. The rug on the left, the tufted rug, is made to look like the better quality rug on the right. Now the real significant difference between these two rugs is in the construction. I've shown you by the diagram how they're basically put together at the foundational level, but if you look at the way they differ on construction, now again, the borders, the colors are virtually the same. There's not quite as much detail in the rug on the left as there is in the hand knotted rug on the right, you see. But the real big difference is in the back. See, the tufted rug has this cloth backing, whereas the hand knotted rug looks virtually the same on the back as it does on the front. The design goes all the way through because those knots, which maybe I can get up close enough to see, you see those little ridges, each one of those little dots there is a hand-tied knot. In this rug, they're actually 178 per square inch. Whereas this rug, there's no design on the back, and as you'll see in the demonstration in a few minutes, they're just little V-shaped tufts of wool in a foundational fabric. So you have two rugs virtually identical in appearance, but one looks like that on the back, the other looks like that on the back. Going to give a demonstration here, which we do in the store frequently for people interested in these things, which, as I said, we don't offer for sale. But the problem with the tufted rugs, based on the construction issues that I showed in the diagram earlier. So if we can just have Pam here demonstrate the removal of a tuft. See that? Just put down here against the rug, just put it down on so we can see contrast. Where's your, there you go. tuft just pulls out like a V. You want to do again?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just get you in focus here. Okay, go ahead. See, they just pull out. Now, the very thing she's doing by hand is something that your vacuum cleaner is going to be doing day by day, and the rugs get a very fuzzy look very soon. And after about 3, 4, 5 years of this, the rug is going to be in a condition that will disturb you enough that you'll basically dispose of.
We do not sell tufted rugs here at Brandon Oriental Rugs. I can't stand behind the product. It's a threat to the environment, despite it sometimes being sold as a green product, because it's basically going to be a landfill clogger as time goes on, being produced in millions of square feet per year in India and to some degree in China as well. Every last one of them has the same problem in terms of lack of durability, and as a result they're going to be disposed of in short order and create a problem in terms of that disposal issue.